Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's the weekend before Halloween, and God, last night we ate a whole bag of Halloween sweets. I think because it got after about 8 o'clock, and we thought, oh, no one's going to come knocking now. And while watching the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978, Jeremy and I ate a whole bag of chocolate. Um, I don't know when the Halloween trick-or-treaters will start calling, but we did buy a green Frankenstein bucket to fill with sweets. We have got lots of other sweets um, ready to hand out. It used to be great round here. People would come around all the time on Halloween and the days leading up. It's gone in phases because, of course, things like COVID, but also just fads. And it used to be really popular. We'll see how it is this year. I really like Halloween. I just remembered. I can't think what triggered the memory. When we had our first house together, and the first year that we did in Norwich in 1998, we had a Halloween weekend party for all the kind of academics and writers that we knew or liked. On a Saturday night, I think. And in the living room, we had constant horror films playing. That was mostly everybody's kids were watching things like Valley of the Gwangi and At the Earth's Core through the afternoon. Because a few people had kids, the Americans, we had American scholars over, and so they all happily watched monster movies, and all the adults got trolleyed on white and red wine and had a good time laughing and talking up a storm as usual. It's a long time ago, that's 26 years. I'm planning on watching horror films again both evenings this weekend with Jeremy and eating lots of sweets. Quite straightforward. My Halloween reading is turning out to consist of this, which isn't spooky, but it's magical. The Wishing Game by Meg Schaffer, which is the kind of slightly Willy Wonka-ish novel about the kids writer who has a contest to bring four of his most loyal readers to his island where he's become a recluse. People make much of the fact that it feels like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type story. To me, it actually feels a bit more like, or at least as much, J.D. Salinger when he became a recluse and was known for his fans finding him in the middle of nowhere and coming to see him. It has a touch of that about it as well. It's enjoyable enough. I don't go a bundle on it yet, but we'll see. I want to get this finished. I've just happened to sit down and read a spooky story from this. This is my practice of having books all over the house, and so wherever I sit down, I end up reading something. And this, Giles Gordon, whoops, the sun's just suddenly come into the study. This collection of ghost stories, which was part of the Bloomsbury hardback set in the 90s, which is the most beautiful set of books. And it's got a story at the end called The Leaf Sweeper by Muriel Spark, which I didn't know. And it's not scary, it's just melancholy. That's what it is. It's about a ghost of a living person. And it has a kind of happy ending. It's about a fella who gradually goes off his rocker because he keeps writing pamphlets against Christmas, attacking the idea of Christmas, and eventually, because nobody buys them, he goes off his chump and ends up in an asylum where he's seen sweeping the leaves outside. It's a really lovely story. Muriel Spark is somebody who I haven't read for ages, but I always enjoy. We once took her out to dinner in Norwich when she came to talk for an audience, and there was a lovely Spanish restaurant that Lorna Sage had gone to for years and years and introduced us to as a nice place to take writers out to. And it hadn't changed since the 1960s. It had a little bar area and it had those funny little flamenco dollies on shelves all around. And we took Muriel Spark and her companion out for dinner. Don Pepe, the restaurant was called. Louis de Bernier came out with us that night as well because he was teaching on my first year course because he liked to get out of the house and do some teaching. He lived nearby. And we were just entertained by Muriel Spark, who was a great speaker. And I remember she had this kind of Dover sole or some kind of fish, and she ate the whole thing, bones and all, according to Louis. He sat and watched her, amazed, because she just ate the whole thing. She was also furious because Lorna had said somewhere in print that she was now a lesbian in her old age and was running around the continent with lesbians, and Muriel Spark was livid about this. I don't think she confronted her. I wish I'd seen that. I do remember Lorna's husband, Rupert, driving us at speed through the town and over a pedestrianised area to get to the restaurant with Muriel and her companion in the back seat. These were great adventures. These sound like a short story written by one of these people. Anyway, so that was a nice memory on reading Muriel Spark again. I've got a whole bunch of short story collections that are here to dip into this weekend. This fell off the shelf in the middle of the night, which is a bit spooky. The Mayflower book of black magic stories. I found it lying face up on the hall floor, which, if I was in a kind of Netflix movie, would do my head in, I think. I've got lots and lots of these kind of this collections of this vintage, shall we say. This is a nice one as well. I remember reading this in, I bet you can't see because of the sunlight, in Whitby in 2012, the very first time. October 2012 I've got written in it. The first time we stayed in this particular house in Whitby that we've rented again and again since on the harbour. It's really comfortable. Jeremy and I had the attic, and I was writing some new Brenda stories for Anne Reid to perform for Audible. And I was reading these, and it's a lovely collection actually, quite fancy. Lucy M. Boston and people like that, and Elizabeth Bowen. Anyway, so that's where I'm up to. I actually slept properly last night, which was good. Maybe loads of chocolate and a spooky film help with that. I slept quite deeply. It was quite a intricate week in terms of work and doing stuff. I wrote about 10,000 words again, and I did a whole load of drawings for this project that I'm doing, this particular thing that I can't talk about yet. And I signed contracts and did admin and something else, proofread my Elsie book. So it was quite involved. There's a few trips out doing different things as well. And we had a very pleasant afternoon in Altrincham yesterday, mooching about and having lunch and finding a really nice Italian bistro to have cold lemon tea and little dips of pesto, the best pesto I've tasted in my life, actually. That was a good tea time treat. Yesterday was a good day. Everything worked out really nicely. And of course we get back and Socks is furious that he's been left out of the day out. But he was happy because we sat still and watched The Body Snatchers, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, with Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy and all those people, which is a fantastic film. I hadn't seen it, I don't think. I think I'd just seen clips, and I thought I knew it. And as you know, I think I read the novel from the 50s over the summer and was blown away by that. Can you get settled? He's moving around. He gets quite restless. You going to say goodbye, Socky? Yes? You're going to say goodbye to everyone? Okay, I hope everyone's reading nice Halloweenish things and watching movies and having sweets. At least enjoying themselves this Halloween. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you all again quite soon.